You know, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be always acceptable to you, O God, my strength, my Redeemer. Amen. Years ago, I took a job as a hospital chaplain at Lutheran Hospital in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So up near, kind of up toward the Michigan border some. And when I started there, I had very little understanding of just how completely out of my depth I was. Um, as a hospital chaplain, part of it is leading the hospital chapel services, of course. The biggest part of it, though, is really pastoral care. Pastoral care for patients in the hospital, of course, for their families, for staff members at the hospital. And I very much thought going in that my role was about trying to heal the brokenness, right? Trying to take people's sadness away or take their pain away. And I became clear very, very early on, within the first day, that there was little I could do to take people's sorrow away, to fix their grief, to make them not feel loss. But that really wasn't my job anyway. That's not really the job of pastoral care anyway. As I came to learn and was mentored by some great chaplains before me, being pastoral is really a ministry of presence. It's not about trying to take someone's brokenness away from them. It's about being present with them in the midst of their brokenness and loving them anyway, helping them feel that they're not alone, that all of us in our brokenness are here together, and to just take the time to be present with one another. That's really my role. So as a pastor, as a chaplain, or whether here at St. Stephen's or anywhere, I practice a ministry of trying to just be present with those. Present with those in great moments of triumph so that they have someone to celebrate with. Present with those who are hurting and suffering so that they know they're not alone. That's something we can all do. We can all be pastors to one another, do pastoral care in that way. But ministry of presence isn't just even about that. Look at our letter from Paul today. What Paul's talking about is really evangelism, isn't it? What is he talking about in evangelism? He's talking about being present. He's talking about being with the weak and just meeting them where they are, not trying to change them, that's not true evangelism, right? It's not proselytizing. He's not trying to change them. He's just trying to be present with them where they are, to love them and be there with them and let God's work come in, to be weak with those who are weak, to be outside the law with those who are outside the law, to be like a Jew to the Jews, just to find people where they are and just be present. Again, that's evangelism we can all do. Outreach. Our outreach is really, when we go and we help someone, the feeding someone who's hungry is part of the outreach for sure, but really the deeper part of it is a ministry of presence. It's about going in front of somebody that needs something and being there in the moment, really seeing them as somebody that's worthy to be in relationship with, as somebody who's worthy to humanize and be present to. That's the deeper work of the outreach. It's ministry of presence. And of course, our community, when we gather together, when we gather at the Lord's table, or when we gather to pray, our worship is ministry of presence. So the more you start to think about it, the more you start to realize that really the whole heart of the gospel is about presence, being really there with each other. And it makes sense. Because when you think about the gospel, what is it really? It's really a story about a God that loves us so much that God would choose to come and be present with us as Jesus. It's about a God who loves us so much that even when we betray him and kill him, that doesn't stop him from being present with us. He's resurrected and comes to be with us again. So when we answer this call to be present, present in our worship, present in our pastoral care, in our outreach, in our community, we really are following as disciples in God's call to be present. Thanks be to God. Amen.